I want to tell people who want to join the IAS or people who are in the IAS is it's a heaven-sent opportunity. Don't miss this chance. You can really make a difference to the lives of millions of people if you do your work with honesty, with integrity, with a sense of public service. Chief Secretary's job is very challenging. The Chief Secretary's job, where you are head of the state, you are handling everything, you are responsible for everything. You can't, disown any decision. You have to take a decision because ultimately everything comes to you and you are responsible for everything. You are accountable for it. Oh, it's a tremendous job. You see, politician is very important in a democratic setup. He represents the will of the people. He is an elected member.
Where was your first posting and what was your first task as an officer?
Well, after the 2 years in the Mussoorie Academy at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, I was allotted to the Uttar Pradesh cadre. Now, cadres are allotted as per merit, and so I belong to UP. So I was fortunate to get my cadre as per merit. It is after the training I am talking about. I was posted as what is known as SDM, Sub-Divisional Magistrate. First posting is SDM. And I was posted to Kanpur district of Uttar Pradesh. So I must tell you, very interesting. I went there, very confidently met my DM. Sir, I am a young IAS officer. I have just, arrived and I have been asked to join your district. I was hoping he will, welcome me with open hands and say, okay, this is what the posting will give you and that will give you something important. He looked at me and said, okay. Then he said, fine, I'll give you a subdivision, and you go to Derapur. SDM Derapur I'll make. I did not know what Derapur was. I came out smiling. Then some people asked me what happened. I told them other officers were there. I said, he's made me SDM Derapur. Oh, they said, Derapur? Do you realize what Derapur is? I said, no. They said it is the farthest subdivision of Kanpur. It is 72 kilometers from Kanpur. There are no proper roads to reach there. It is the most backward subdivision. There is not even any proper place for the SDM to stay there. There is an old ramshackle broken down PWD guest house. And there, old tehsil building also, and a very poor and backward area. And imagine you are getting posted there as a young IAS officer. Oh, they started sympathizing with me. So I said what to do. And then I went to Derapur, and they were right. It was the most backward area. And can you believe it? This is 1980. In 1980 in Derapur, there was no electricity. In the PWD guest house, in the evening, the person who used to attend to me, the chaprasi, he used to light the lanterns. And in the light of the lanterns, I used to have my dinner or do whatever work or reading or anything I wanted to do. Always used to be in the light of the lantern. And since there was no electricity, one had to sleep outside in the lawns. Because otherwise it would be very warm inside in the room. And then there was no running water also. There was no tap water or running water. And so in the morning, my person would go to a well nearby. From there, he'd draw 2 buckets of water and he'd bring it to me so that I can have a bath or something. So this was the big start. I said, imagine getting into the IAS and then coming here, where there is no running water, where there is no electricity. But that was one thing. But I started enjoying my job from day one. Sitting in the court, the feeling of sitting in the court, doing justice. When poor people used to come to my court and they had so many problems. And when I started disposing of their problems, the smile on their faces, the satisfaction on their faces, made me feel very, very happy. They are doing something very significant. And right, from the very beginning, it was a tremendous challenge, to try and satisfy the grievances of people. And I started doing new innovations, new things. And almost immediately after I joined, there was a major flood within 1 month after my joining, heavy rain. And there was only one road connecting Derapur with Kanpur. There was a bridge on it. And that bridge was washed away in the floods. So there was no connectivity. No mobiles used to be there. The telephone was also not working. So I was left totally on my own. Can you imagine? A person, young officer joining a subdivision, and within 1 month of his joining, he is left on his own to handle severe floods where hundreds of villages have been marooned. So I had to go by boat, go to those villages. I used to start at 7 in the morning and come back at 2 in the night. And all day travel by boat, go to villages, distribute relief material, evacuate people, take them to safer places. Not so much of work, It was so exciting and thrilling and also so challenging. I realized what you can do as an IAS officer really to help people also, and also how challenging a job can be and how almost immediately you are left on your own. There's nobody to help you. Nobody to help you or guide you. You have to take your own decisions and you have to find solutions. So that was very challenging indeed.
So any negative thought that strikes your mind? क्योंकि अभी तो मैं IIM से आया हूँ और अभी IAS बना और फ्लड में बैठा हुआ हूँ.
नहीं, मुझे कभी नेगेटिव थॉट नहीं आया. कभी मैंने उसको रिग्रेट ही नहीं किया अपनी पूरी जिंदगी में. I never regretted. Even I know I was from IIM and I was in Mumbai and I have a very comfortable life was there, and this life was not so comfortable to begin with. But no, I had no regrets because that gave me that satisfaction of really doing something for the society or serving people, which I wanted. So I got this, So that is why I came there. So I was very happy. It was very, very interesting, and to work in that subdivision for a year, and that was a dacoit infested area also. So many, incidents of dacoity and all used to take place. So that kind of place to live in. And it was really thrilling and exciting to work, yes.
So in your vast 38 plus years of career, you have been in different departments. Which one was your favorite and why?
I can say I was fortunate to have worked in very different departments, and I've enjoyed most of the jobs that I've been there. In fact, I would say all of them I've enjoyed. I would say that, working as a chief secretary was absolutely the most satisfying because you're head of the state and all departments are with you. I would say working as a district magistrate is very satisfying as a collector. That's the main job. And I was lucky to get 5 districts. I was served as district magistrate of 5 districts. And so I had a lot of experience and it gave me a lot of satisfaction working in the districts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then if you're saying one posting, I would not mention chief secretary and district magistrate because these are outstanding postings always. Anybody working as a DM would be very happy with that posting. It gives a lot of satisfaction. Anybody who becomes a chief secretary will get a lot of satisfaction. But one posting I thoroughly enjoyed was that of municipal commissioner. I was made municipal commissioner and vice chairman of the development authority of Allahabad, which is now called Prayagraj. It used to be called Allahabad those days. So I was made that, and it was a very satisfying experience. There I found that I did not have that kind of support from the police and others as a DM has. That sense of authority that a DM has. I am on my own, and yet the people who come to me with their grievances are educated people, well-off people, very vocal, who demand their rights, and you have to satisfy them. And one year I was there with the unelected board, second year with the elected board. An elected board having 80 corporators, when a mayor working with them, it was a very, very big challenge. And then anything you do in a municipal commissioner, you get immediate reaction of the people. Like you improve some service, like if you improve sanitation or water supply, immediately you will get a response from the people that you have done good work. Any good work you do, like I developed parks in Allahabad. I developed the Bharadwaj Ashram Park. I developed the Saraswati Ghat area. I developed what was known as Nehru Park at that time. So all these parks were developed, so people appreciate it. The appreciation comes so fast. At the same time, if you do something which people are not happy with, the anger also comes out into the streets as fast. People will get together, there will be andolans, there will be demonstrations, they will come outside their office. So it was a very challenging, extremely challenging job, in which I remember I used to start my day at 6:30 in the morning. I used to go to inspect the city to see how the sanitation staff was cleaning the city or not, garbage was being removed or not. So starting from 6:30 in the morning and then work till 11 in the night. It was very challenging, very demanding, but immensely satisfying job.
So what's that one thing you love about your profession the most?
It is the diversity of this profession. It gives you diverse experience. You can never get bored in the IAS. In any job, other job, you might think that okay, it is repetitive. I am doing the same thing over and over again. This can never happen in the IAS. Every 2 to 3 years, you will move into something, and sometimes to a totally different field. And so the challenge is to learn about that field, to read about that field, to understand, grasp, and then deliver. So that is so enjoyable, to grasp the problems in a new field altogether and then deliver the results there. That was very challenging all through. And then the feeling that you take a major decision and then you get the feedback that this has made so much more difference to people. Like when I was Secretary Basic Education, I realized there were not enough schools in the rural areas. So I went about that, and in a 3-year tenure, I was instrumental in getting 20,000 schools constructed. Just 20,000 schools constructed made so much of a difference to the people of the state. And they came and thanked me, and wherever I used to go, they used to welcome me and garland me and everything. So I used to, what a sense of happiness it gave me. That okay, so this is what the IAS is all about. If you do public service in the IAS, if you do something to make a difference, I have written in that book of mine, Making a Difference. If you do with that intention, you should not go for any intention of just power and status. But the intention and motivation should be to do something for the people, deliver public services. If you go with that intention, you can be very, very satisfying. It gives you a tremendous sense of well-being and happiness.
Any heart-touching incidents in your professional life you would like to share?
No, a lot of incidents are there on my professional life which I could share, but one is the achievement part, but one is, I'll say something like that, small things, can make a difference. Like right in the beginning of my service, as I said, when I was SDM, during this floods itself, around that time, when I was talking about, I was sitting in a small, only town I had in Dehradun, a small town, and I was trying to collect some relief material from the people. I was asking the traders and business people to donate material so that I could take it to the villages to distribute it. And suddenly somebody came to me and she told me that, there is a woman who has been tied up in a village somewhere by some tribal people, and who are beating her and ill-treating her and all that, and she's crying and shouting, but she is kept there and she's been molested and everything by these people. So you do something about it. I asked the police. Police said, no, sir, it's nothing like this. It's all right. She has come of her own accord. But I did not believe it. Then I sent a team of my Tehsildar and police to see that place. And there we found actually there was a woman who had been taken away, kidnapped from Bihar and brought there. And she was lying tied up inside in a room and feeling miserable. So they brought her out. They came to me. Then I asked her, what do you want? Apart from lodging a case against those people and arresting the people who had done the wrong thing, then we put this girl on a train along with an officer, to take her home to Bihar, and gave the money also for her railway fare and everything. He gave her food and clothes and sent her to her home in Bihar, and she reached there. So that kind of small thing, a touching incident in the beginning, it makes so much a difference that just because I took the initiative, it made a difference to the life of this woman. Otherwise, what could have happened, otherwise. Similarly, even later on in life, many people come to me and say, even now they come to me after my retirement, and that makes me feel very happy. Sir, when you were in service, I came to you for this job. You do not even know me, but you helped me, and my whole family is grateful to you. So, another incident you said touching, I must mention. This is very important. When I was my first district, I was DM Ghazipur. Ghazipur is a district in Eastern UP. I was DM of Ghazipur. I will not narrate the entire story, but it so happened that there was some police person he killed a rickshaw puller. A police person killed a rickshaw puller. And there was a mob agitation who surrounded the Kotwali. I was inside the Kotwali, my SP was inside the Kotwali, and they threw big bats and everything and started breaking the gate and starting setting police vehicles on fire. And so I had no option. My SP said, sir, there is no option. Please allow me to open fire. So I had no option. I said, okay, fire, but see that you don't kill too many people. So firing started, and firing was done, and the mob was dispersed. Two things happened. Two things I remember about that. One, a young boy, I don't think his age was more than 20, 21. He was shot in the stomach. And so the police people pulled his body inside the Kotwali Thana. And they were, shouting at him, look, he's the person, he was protesting, he was throwing stones, now he's learned a lesson. I said, what are you doing? This person has been shot in the stomach. He must be immediately sent to the hospital. And so I personally took hold of that boy, and then along with some others, and put him on a jeep and sent him to the hospital so that he could be operated upon. But then we sent him to BHU, but he did not survive. He died. Then the whole thing, after this was over, after 7-8 days after that, when things became normal, I went to the family of this person. I was a person who had ordered firing. Everybody knew that. As district magistrate, I had ordered the firing. And in this firing, this boy had been shot and he had died. Yet, I realized I am a district magistrate. When I opened firing, it was not against anybody, no enmity against anybody. I was just trying to maintain law and order. But I am also a compassionate DM. I must look after the people in my district. So I went to the family in the village. My SP said, no, sir, they are very angry. You take the police force with you and all that. I said, no, I will not take the police force. I will go alone. So I went alone to their house. And then they made me sit down. And I talked to them. I spent about more than 2 hours with them. And, they were so happy, so touched by the fact that I had come and I was sympathizing with them. I told them, look, I'm sorry it happened. It had to be your son. And I'm sorry I was the person who got the firing done. But I'm with you. And I helped them also. One child of theirs, I got him employed in a government job. I then helped solve some other problems of theirs which they had. And another child of his was looking after some contracts in state government departments. I helped him get those contracts. And the touching thing was that I became almost a family member. This family, whose child had died, started considering me as a family member. And every year I noticed that this one of their family members would come and he'd bring a bottle of achar or something from his house, saying that माँ ने बना के भेजा है आपके लिए, अचार बना के भेजा है माँ ने आपके लिए. एक शीशी. इतना मुझको अपने परिवार का हिस्सा समझने लगे that they would send a small bottle of mango pickle or something made by the mother to me. It was as if it was my family. Such a touching thing that happened. The feeling of emotion that transpired between us. I never forget this incident.
What about your mentor? Who are your mentor in life?
Mentor, I said yes. My father was my mentor, all right. I learned a lot from him, as I said in the beginning. And then that apart, I cannot really say that anybody in particular was my mentor to guide me into this career or my life. But all said and done, I read exhaustively. And through my reading, a lot of those leaders, the top leaders of the country, the top leaders of the world, who have fought for values and all, have influenced me the maximum. And that is why, I believe in values, I believe in morals, I believe in ethics. And so, this is the mentoring I got through the books, directly reading about great people, the top leaders, say from Gandhi, or Ambedkar, or Nehru, or anybody at that time when we used to read. Whatever principles I took in from them, or later on Nelson Mandela, all these things. So this one, imbibed a lot of principles from these people. And this was a guiding motive in my life.
So how would you define success?
Success, I would say, is if you are doing something which you are happy to do. And while you're doing this, you're doing it with a sense of service, a sense of purpose. And in your life, in your career, in your job, in your family life, everything is important. Success is not only one-sided. It is not only success in professional life or success in personal life. It has to be success in both. You are able to make a difference, as I said. As I said, the title of my book, that's why I've given it. Making a difference to as many people as possible. Transform as many lives as possible. Help as many people as possible with a positive attitude. If you can do so, this is the meaning of success. That's all.
So if you are able to get hold of time machine, which phase of your life would you like to roll back?
No, not really. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that life is an enjoyment, Life is a pleasure, life is a struggle also. You take right decisions, you take wrong decisions. You have happy moments, you have unhappy moments. But I don't want to change any of that because the unhappy moments also teach you so much. They build your character also. They help you grow also. The happy moments also teach you a lot. They also, give you so much of pleasure, I think, in life. So rolling back, I said, I have had a very satisfying career. I've had a very satisfying life. And given another chance, I would like to repeat it and go the same way. Yes.
So tell us about your book, Making a Difference, the IAS as a Career.
So this book is about what is there in the IAS as a career. The opportunities, the challenges, the diversity of experience, the tremendous opportunity you get to serve the people. And Making a Difference title, as I just explained, this is a service. I want to tell people who want to join the IAS or people who are in the IAS is that it's a heaven-sent opportunity. Don't miss this chance. You can really make a difference in the lives of millions of people if you do your work with honesty, with integrity, with a sense of public service. If you really want to deliver justice to the people, and really come out into the open and solve the problems and grievances of each and every citizen with a positive outlook, well, you can make a difference. You can transform lives. You can transform the society. So this book is all about that. Starting from why one should join the IAS, what should be the motivation. Yes, power is there, status is there, But power and status to do what? Not to get a salute from the policeman only, but to do something for the society, do something for the human beings, do something for the betterment of people who are poor, who are uneducated, who are not getting proper health care. Like if you are looking after education department, improve the quality of education. If you are looking after health care, improve the quality of health care so that people get better services. This is the type of satisfaction you can get in the service. And so this book is about that. And then also it has discussed certain myths and realities about the IAS. How there are some common myths about what an IAS officer is like, or what the job of the IAS is like. And I have tried to answer what in my opinion is what is the real position. And ultimately I said that it's an intensely satisfying job. You can really do something which you will look back in life with intense and immense satisfaction. So this is the core of the book.
So what inspired you to write this book?
I wanted to talk about what I had gained from the service. And I also wanted to, as you said, mentor. I said I did not get a mentor, but I wanted to mentor young boys and girls who want to join the civil services or who are already joined the civil services, to tell them that what is possible. Today, some people have become cynical. They say there is so much political interference, you cannot do anything. I want to tell them, no, you can do a lot still. No, don't take that attitude. A lot of people say that there is a lot of corruption and so we can't do anything which is honest or of integrity. I want to tell them, no, that's also not correct. Honesty and integrity is a part of your character and nature. It doesn't make a difference if others are not honest. If you are honest, you can maintain that honesty. Nobody can force you to go away from that honesty and integrity. And if you want to do good work, there is still a lot of potential in the IAS to do that good work. It's not necessary that you just tie yourself in files and don't take a decision. If you take decisions, you still can make a difference to people. So this is what prompted me to tell the people how they can make that, why they should join the IAS, and if they get selected to the IAS, how they can make it a rewarding career.
So among the 3 books you have written, which one is your favorite and why?
Well, this book is my favorite, the third one, because in which my whole life's experience has come, and it is a kind of an inspirational book for the people joining the IAS. But the other 2 books are also important. The Collector today was written after my experience in 5 districts, and there I have talked about the challenges which confront the district magistrate and collector and district posting is. It's a very challenging, very interesting posting. So I have talked about that. So that is also very close to me. And the third book is about towards adult literacy in India, in which as DM of Agra, I had implemented a project using volunteers, young boys and girls and volunteers, to make 5.5 lakh adult people in Agra between the age of 15 and 45 who were illiterate, make them literate within 1 year. And we were able to achieve that. In 1 year we made them literate. And that experience is recorded in that book, how it was done. So I think all 3 books in their own way are precious to me. But yes, the one which is the nearest and the closest would be the one I just wrote.
So which was the most challenging task of your career?
Chief Secretary's job is very challenging. Chief Secretary's job is very challenging, which I reached the end of my career and was there for more than 2 years, because you are heading the entire state. And a state like Uttar Pradesh, population of 220 million, 5th largest country if it had been a country. Imagine so many differences of caste and community in this state, so much of politics in this state, so many political issues are always burning in this state. Then the level of backwardness is there, illiteracy is there. Then in the rural areas, the state of people living in subsisting on agriculture, how they're managing, what they are doing. So it's a very, very complex and difficult state to administer, and it's a huge state. That is why I found this job as Chief Secretary very interesting. And I remember that I could achieve some very challenging things. I'll just mention 1 or 2 to you. Within 24 months, from start to end, we built the Lucknow-Agra Expressway. I don't know if anybody who has travelled on that. 328 kilometer expressway, Lucknow. It is still one of the best expressways anywhere in the country. I can vouch for that. It was done in 24 months. Then Lucknow Metro. We brought the metro to Lucknow within 32 months. Then Dial 100, a police response system, where the police could, reach you in 20 minutes, even in the remotest village. And this was done also, achieved in this time. Then 108, ambulance, where ambulance would reach anywhere within 20 minutes of dialing 108. These are some of the things which I could do as Chief Secretary, which was so challenging and then very satisfying because we could achieve that. So that's what I say, the Chief Secretary's job, where you are the head of the state, You are handling everything. You are responsible for everything. You can't, disown any decision. You have to take a decision because ultimately everything comes to you, and you are responsible for everything. You are accountable for it. Oh, it's a tremendous job. It's a tremendous job. Yes.
So what's your mantra to handle politicians and common men?
Mantra is same. You have to do everything with a sense of honesty and a sense of public service. Common man, I'll say. Common man is very simple. He has genuine problems. He comes to the government officers and administration only when he is not able to get things done. He is worried. He is upset. He is concerned. At that time, if you listen to him, mantra is, first of all, listen. We don't listen. Many officers don't listen. Be courteous. Be polite. Listen to the person. Give him respect. And then have a positive attitude. Have a positive attitude and solve the problems of that person. As far as possible, then and there, resolve his issues. If you can do that, you can do your service to the common man. And then, as far as the politician is concerned, I would say to people that don't be under this mistaken impression that whatever politician does is wrong and whatever officers do is right. It's not correct. You see, politician is very important in a democratic setup. He represents the will of the people. He is an elected member. And you should not think he is a fool. He knows everything. He understands people. Academically, an officer may be, better than the politician because he studied more. But a politician has a PhD in people. He understands people. He has the pulse of the people. He understands people better than any officer or administrator will be able to understand. And therefore, he understands what people need, what they want. So he will articulate that need, what their desire is. And it is up to you to translate that into real experience or in reality. So, respect the politician always. Never be arrogant towards him. Never doubt him. Try and see what he is saying. Very often, you may not like what he is saying. But you should understand that he is responsible to his voter. Whatever he has to say, he will present the viewpoint of his voter in front of you. I've had that experience. But he will not deliberately push you to do something wrong. He will not. So, politician and administration are like two wheels of a vehicle. You have to work together if you want the society to develop, if you want the state or country to develop. And so that is a mantra. So, be understanding of the other's viewpoint and take them forward. The final mantra, as you said, is, I always keep this in mind. And this is what I written in my book also, Making a Difference. Always put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Try and think that if I was there, what kind of behavior would I expect from the officer? What kind of response would I expect from the officer? And give that kind of response. Whatever you would expect yourself. I think that is the ultimate mantra.
So you have been DM Ghaziabad and it's not so good name to be. How did you manage the mafias and put law and order in place?
Well, I will share with you that I was posted to DM Ghaziabad in the year 1991. And at that time, as you said, not a very good name as you say. It was known as the Wild West of UP. There was so much of criminal activity there. There were so many mafia gangs operating there. And, very volatile kind of a place. And that was the biggest challenge. And I was Chief Minister who sent me there, said that go and resolve this problem. And I and my SSP, who was also a brilliant officer, we together resolved that issue. We took the strictest possible action against all the mafias. We arrested them under National Security Act. We confiscated their properties. We did everything possible at that time. And with this, but we were very fair also in our dealings. As a result of this, the mafias and the criminals left Ghaziabad. They moved out of Ghaziabad. They moved to other states, but they stopped their operation in Ghaziabad. And the most satisfying thing was that suddenly the property prices in Ghaziabad started going up because there was a sense of security amongst the people. People started coming back, looking for property, staying there. So I got immense satisfaction working in Ghaziabad as DM. We were able to handle that, and I was so happy at that time. I remember India Today magazine, they carried in a whole article on us saying how these DM and SP have been able to tackle the mafias in Ghaziabad. That was intensely satisfying. And as you said, the second thing about Ghaziabad is, it is a place where you get a lot of temptation. It is a very rich place. A lot of people willing to offer you money for anything. If you are able to maintain your integrity and honesty in the face of all this, it is a big satisfaction. if you can come out of it, without being scared at all, without anything rubbing off on you. I think that is I think very. When I was transferred from Ghaziabad, there was a Hindi newspaper. I think it was Dainik Jagran or Amar Ujala, one of them. They wrote about my farewell, and the headline was, I was very happy with that headline. So, Chandan Vish Vyapat Nahi, Lapte Rahe Bhujan. Then what they meant was that where there is so much of things which are going around, but if you are like Chandan, then you don't take the wish of poison from outside in you at all. So that was thing what they said about when I was transferred from Ghaziabad, and that gave me a lot of satisfaction.
So what was your first award as an officer?
I don't think I got too many awards as such, but I mean, that way, yes, we used to get like when I was DM, we fulfilled the targets in 20-point program. The district came first in 20-point program, or second or third. So we were awarded at the state level. Then in population control programs, then in national small savings scheme, various various programs and schemes, and then in conducting the elections very well, getting award for that. Several such awards have come my way during my career, but I thought it was a part of a job. And if I got an award, yes, it means recognition, and recognition means immense satisfaction. And then this literacy campaign, I was awarded that way by Government of India also. They sent me abroad on a 1-month tour, to learn more about literacy and education in recognition of the work I had done in Agra. So that I think all this is there. I mean, getting an award always makes you very, very happy. But I think in an IAS and in a career like this, every day is an award. Every day you're doing something. And the biggest award you get is from the citizen. If the citizen says that this officer is honest, that this officer does my work, he actually solves problems, and he gives you that certificate, he is happy with you, that you have done something for the district, for the people. I think that is the biggest award. Ultimately in the IAS, the biggest award comes from the citizen.
So what were your roles and responsibility as Joint Secretary Defence?
Joint Secretary Defence is a totally different kind of a career, different from state government. Government of India works according to rules and regulations, and you are handling things at the national level. So you have a national level exposure. You also have an international level exposure. You are into policy making for the entire nation. So a lot of cerebral or intellectual inputs go into it. You have to deal with people who are very intelligent, highly intelligent. Your ministers are highly intelligent, highly competent. So in that scenario, you have to transform yourself and work in that way, so that you are really every day you are contributing something through your knowledge. You have to develop your knowledge and contribute and come up with policies, come up with schemes so that you can benefit the people of the country. So in Joint Secretary Defence also was satisfying, because there you are working for the defence of the country, and working anything you do, like procuring weapons, procuring good weapons on time, giving it to the Jawans, that it makes so much of a difference. Or looking up for the problems and grievances of the soldiers. If you can really do it, that also gives you so much of a sense of satisfaction. And if you can really, by your contribution, help in our armed forces who are really doing such a wonderful job, if you can assist them, in modernizing them, in further developing and growing, it does give a lot of satisfaction. So I can say Joint Secretary Defence was also a very interesting experience.
So as a Chief Secretary of UP, what all was your roles and responsibility, and what all transformation project did you implement?
Basically, Chief Secretary's job, as I said, is he has to coordinate the working of all the departments. So he is the chief coordinator. If health issues are there and education people are there, sanitation people are there, he has to make them all sit together and decide along with finance and others. So he has to take the state forward. That is his job. That is his role and responsibility, basically, to give good and clean administration to the state, to have a team, motivate and inspire a team, because he is the team leader, ultimate leader, head of the state. So he must inspire a team, motivate a team, and then set clear goals for the team, that this is what we want to achieve, this is where we want to reach, and then motivate the team, mold the team together to reach that goal, take decisions promptly, provide the kind of leadership. So Chief Secretary basically is a leader as far as the administration is concerned. And if you want in one word, I would say the role of a Chief Secretary is to provide leadership in the state government and the state administration.
Thank you very much for your time, and thanks for sharing your experience, live experience as well as professional experience. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. And I hope whoever hears our talk will gain something out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for watching Amazing Mentor. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get regular updates. Thank you very much.